All right, now some of you may be aware of this already, but I'm going to show you something. This is from the directions from Acting Chief Health Officer in accordance with emergency powers arising from the declared state of emergency. Now this applies to Victoria, and what we're talking about here is the mandate, the injection mandate that has been imposed by the government, which outlines the steps that supposedly employees must take in order to retain their employment. Now, I'm going to show you this particular document here because there appears to be an exception. Now, I don't know if this is a golden rule, and I'm certainly not proposing this as some type of permanent solution for those who are still holding the line and for those who are still choosing not to be injected. But let me just show you this right here. All right, so this document, and by the way, if you'd like me to send this document to you, mcjreport.com/join. I will send it to you after the show. All right, so I'm going to read you here from part 2. It says vaccination information. If a worker is or may be scheduled to work outside the worker's ordinary place of residence on or after the relevant date, the employer of the worker must collect, record, and hold vaccination information about the worker. Obviously, this is absolutely ridiculous. The government tasking employers to carry out the dirty work of the government. That's why I said quite early on that employers should ignore Daniel Andrews, ultimately because Daniel Andrews is nothing more than a grub. But secondly, Daniel Andrews has no right, of course, to abuse the human rights of Victorians, especially after ScoMo said that these types of decisions would be left up to employers. Now, bear with me. We come down here to point 5. It says exception. All right, so there's an exception apparently. Again, I'm not saying this is a solid case here, but for some people out there, it could be worth a shot. Look at this. It says booking by first dose deadline. It said despite subclause 1, okay, an employer of a worker may, between the relevant date and the first dose deadline, permit a worker who A, is unvaccinated, and B, has a booking to receive by the first dose deadline a dose of a COVID-19 vaccine that will cause the worker to become partially vaccinated to work for that employer outside the worker's ordinary place of residence. Okay, so an exception there. So for some people, this could be something you want to try, go ahead with. Sending your employer a booking which expresses intent to be injected by a certain date, okay? Showing intent obviously doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to go through with it, right? Some people show intent to go fishing on the weekend, but then plans change and it never happens. Okay, so I just wanted to bring that to your attention. This is on the Department of Health and Human Services website. Again, if you want me to send this document so you can read through it more thoroughly, mcjreport.com/join.